Yo, yo, yo. It's Darlington race day. I love it. I love this track. I love Darlington. Whoever watched the race yesterday and didn't like I don't have anything to say to you. Like, it's awesome. Hey, Kim, good morning. Let's get some winners going. Oh, let's make some money. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Mom, if you're watching, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Having a pretty good hair day. Loving that. Rye, what's going on? All right. Well, now that we got the happy Mother's Day out of the way, to all those mothers, let's talk about some racing. Jacob, what's going on? All right. Well, before we get things started, let's get this pre-race poll done. Okay. Hey, great racing. I think there's a ton of great bets out there. Been firing big time already this morning. So we'll be talking about some bets and just go through a field rundown. But first, let's take a poll. Hey, Collective Clink, happy race day. One of my favorite tracks. Collective Clink, taking a poll. All right. I love this track. Yesterday was awesome. Do you guys want my rant right now about yesterday, or do you want to wait? Because people are saying, oh, Kyle Larson, that what happened to him last week, he did to someone else. He was going to be super aggressive. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. And here's why. Oh, nice. Keith is at the track. Okay, so here's my rant. The people that were comparing yesterday's, like Larson was mad about last week. Did anybody see these tweets? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, 72% under caution. Okay, what happened last week with Kyle Larson had zero bearing on the way he raced yesterday. It was the exact opposite. Kyle Larson had the best car yesterday. That's why he was able to do what he did. Same thing to Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin was the better car at the end of that run last week. There was no like, oh, Larson raced harder, whatever. No, it was both. I think both incidences were good, hard racing, and I'm okay with it. There's no reason that anyone should be upset about if you're a John Hunter Nemechek fan or you're a Larson fan last week. Listen, those were fairly clean. Like both times Larson bounced off the wall, mind you. But it was so different. When you have the best car, you can be so much more aggressive. You don't have to play defense. And was there any question who the best car was yesterday? I don't think so. It was Kyle Larson by a mile. Like it wasn't even close. So even though like I feel bad for John Hunter and all the people that had him at plus 650, like, hey, those were great bets. But dude, if you watch practice, Kyle Larson was the best car. So there you go. Rant over. Not that it wasn't really a rant. I just saw a few tweets that were like, oh, that John doesn't race, doesn't race hard. Like, dude, John Hunter is a good race car driver. I think he's really mature. Yeah. Sammy. I completely agree. It is not the same as Logano just punting Byron. That was Busch League, and that's not even the same. So, all right, let's get a rundown. Let's do this. Get lap times up here. Get odds up. All right. Start with Martin Truex Jr. No sound in here, and people can hear me, right? Maybe you should turn on your volume, Sammy. Come on. Remember my first pre-race poll. No fancy hat. No, dude, I'm just having Ryan. I'm having what they call a great hair day today, and I'm excited. Maybe a little buzzed. Who knows? Okay. Let's start with Truex. Martin Truex is really good at this track, and Martin Truex could absolutely win this race. I don't know. Like, this is why it's so important to like, I'll get to my favorite throwback here in a second. This is why it's so important to understand where the market goes, because everyone was saying, Martin Truex Jr. was what, 8-1 pre-week, and I didn't like him. I'd rather have him unload fast and qualify well and then bet him. And he unloaded fast and qualified well, and he's 7-1. So like, I didn't pay much of a price there by waiting. I think that's really important to understand where the market's going. Truex could absolutely win this race with unequivocally. This is arguably his best track, and he runs well here. He's run a perfect race here before. I think it was in 2021. It was a perfect race. I mean, Larson even short pitted and couldn't catch him. Like, it was impressive. Truex can win. If someone came up to me, I know Hunter's out here probably watching. He's at the race. He loves Truex, and he's like the boy that cried wolf when it comes to Truex. So just objectively, I do think Truex is going to be really good. But it all depends on how another driver drives. Kind of depends. Like, I'll get to that. Let's just say I like Truex at 7. If you were to bet that, or say you're taking him in matchups, as long as you're not taking him against Kyle Larson, I like it. Bubba Wallace had a really good. Bubba Wallace was really good in practice, like pretty good in long run. He was in the A group, which I think benefits. Like, I think everyone's kind of faster in that A group. But he didn't have the fall off that we normally see out of Bubba. So, where does he start? Well, obviously, where's he starting? He's starting second. Worm. Come on. I think that Bubba is going to be good. He's kind of priced that way, though. Like, if we look at some matchups, I mean, he's heavily favored against like Suarez. He's -175. I don't trust Bubba at -175 in almost any matchup. I just don't trust him yet. I had all my eggs in a Bubba basket on Friday night for the truck race, and that was trash. Terrible bet. Like, he was just bad all the way around. I mean, good, decent on the long run, but whatever. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., what a qualifying out of this guy. Like, all right, Ricky came out of nowhere. Fast in practice, short run, long run, a lot of fall off for old Rick the Stick here. Not optimistic about Ricky staying up in the top 10. I think he's going to drop like a rock, is what I think. I mean, I don't think it'll be long before you have Byron Chastain passing him. I don't see Ricky having a good run today. Too much fall off. Willie B is going to be good. He looked good in practice. He didn't look great in practice, but he did have a long run where he maintained his speed, went and pitted, made a small adjustment. And I think he's probably like a 4th place car. If I had to guess, William Byron, it's kind of where he qualified. I think he'll kind of hang around. But if you're there at the end, that last pit stop, the last restart, if you make it happen, then you can win the race. So Willie B, I don't think is a bad bet at all. Ross Chastain probably looked second best in practice. He was in the A group, almost no fall off, and Chastain's good here. Chastain's a wheel man. You can say what you want about him, man. He's a wheel man, and he can drive anything. And this car's fast, and I think that I expect him to run kind of top 3 all day. Daniel Suarez, lots of fall off. He was in the B group, which I think the B group was just slower in general, right? When you look at the board, the B group is just slower. That's week in and week out. You're going to get that. But just a lot of fall off. I don't love how he runs here. I mean, he runs all right. I don't have anything on or against Suarez today. I don't know how he's going to run. If he likes the handling of his race car, he usually hangs around pretty well. But if he doesn't like the handling, he drops like a rock. And I just haven't heard any comments from him. I don't have it, like I said, nothing on or against him. Kyle Larson. I mean, I think he wins. I don't even think it's close. Moving on. Denny Hamlin. Denny was not as good as I thought he was going to be. By the way, I have Larson every which way. Win stage 1. I think I got him at 3.5 to 1. Win stage 2 plus 450, and then to win at 5 to 1. Like, I love Larson today. But, I loved him at last week, and Denny had a better car. This week he's significantly better, though. I think he's significantly better than the rest of the field. Okay, on to Denny. Denny was not as good as I thought he was going to be. He had a little bit more fall off than I thought. And I just can't I think Denny will be there. He just kind of races better. This is just a great Denny track. So I do think he'll be around all day, and he'll be someone to contend with. If he has, so last week he won and he had a great car. But his pit crew was perfect. They were perfect. So if his pit crew is perfect, which they have been way less than perfect for most of the year, then yeah, Denny Hamlin can win. But right now he does not have, he's not in the same zip code from a speed wise as, like, I don't know. I don't even have him in the top 5 speed wise. That's all. I just don't have Denny top 5 speed-wise. Tyler Reddick. Lots of fall off. I don't know if he was trying another line here towards the end of practice, but not fast. I think he'll be good. Like Tyler Reddick's always going to be good here. I just don't think he's as good as his odds. He opened kind of 8-9 to 1. I feel like that's short for him, who's really only been good at road courses. He hasn't really shown me much outside of the road course. So I'm not super high on Reddick. Brad K. I kind of like Brad K today. This is like kind of a Brad K track. Just go figure it out. Here's your car. Your worn out surface. You're going to be horsing this thing around. I like Brad K today. I don't know that I have him in anything, but I'm certainly trying to figure out a way to have him on my card because he loves this place and he's Brad Keselowski. And if he has 1 lap speed, which he qualified well, qualified 10th, made it to the second round. I anticipate Brad Keselowski to be good. It'll be a lot like Dover, in my opinion. Where you had that 1 lap, obviously started 3rd, but hung out there all day. Where Brad struggles, when he qualifies down, in the back of the field, he struggles staying lead lap. Clean air obviously helps him a ton. So I think Brad K will move up a little bit. I think he'll have a top 10 run. Ryan Blaney, listen, I typically, okay, question, Brad versus Suarez, Big Ross. I would definitely take Brad over Suarez. I'm not going to bet it, but I don't see how you take Suarez over Brad. So if that helps. I think, Burton looked good in practice. I'll get to him in a second. I think Brad's going to be good. Okay, Ryan Blaney, typically a guy I'd fade here, but looked awesome in practice. As good as he's looked all year in practice. This might be a place where, like, even though historically he's bad, maybe today he turns it around. Yeah, I agree, Kevin. Like, man, he looked good. I'll get to Elliott here in a second. Brad top Ford might not be a bad bet. I mean, what's the price, Hunter? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a Ford that's way better than everybody else. So I'll get to that in a second. Ryan Blaney, I like. I think Ryan Blaney's a fast Ford. I think he's the fastest Ford. I'll say that Blaney's the fastest Ford. But I also don't trust him like I trust Brad Keselowski. So maybe, Big Ross, I agree. Like he has gotten a little better at his bad tracks. So I don't know. I kind of like Blaney. I do like Blaney today. I haven't figured out how to work him into the card yet. I still have some betting to do. Kyle Busch, I mean, good in practice. Very Kyle Busch. Look good in practice. A little bit of fall off. Who knows how he's going to race? I have no idea. Like if you, I don't know. Kyle looks decent on this short run and fall off. Like not as good as Truex, not as good as Larson, not as good as Bell, not as good as Chase, not as good as Bubba. So I don't know. I think top 10, but here's the thing. He's a wheel man. He can figure it out. Ty Gibbs, man, really impressive in practice. Really impressed with him. Yeah, and by the way, yes, Kyle Busch will speed. It's just a matter of whether he does it early and he can recover, or he does it late and he doesn't, or if he just like spins out, barely touches the wall, and then he just quits, which is what I thought he did last week. Ty Gibbs is gonna be really good. I have some matchups on Ty Gibbs over guys I think that are terrible. I like the way that Ty's just he's kind of just becoming consistent. I think he's starting to figure out that, hey, if you don't make many mistakes, you have a fast enough car underneath you, you can start to rattle off some top 10s. And I do think that he has top 10 speed today. He was good at Darlington as in Xfinity. If he can manage this stuff, I do think the Toyotas are fast. I mean, Big Ross, I'm right there with you. I like Ty Gibbs over Eric Jones. I think Eric Jones is going to be terrible today. Sorry. Harrison Burton. I thought he was pretty good in practice. Like, I actually have Harrison Burton in a matchup today. I can't believe I just said that out loud. I took Harrison Burton over Ryan Newman. I think no-neck Newman's going to suck. He's got his hands full in that 51 car. Yeah, I agree. Fade legacy. Yeah, Harrison Burton was pretty good. If you can find maybe some groups on him, I think depending on who he's matched up against, I think Harrison Burton kind of maintains. Maybe he has like a 15th place car today, which is pretty good for him. Joey Logano, I don't know, man. Like, he looks like he does every year at Darlington, and he won once last year. Like, I thought he was going to be trash, and he won. So I'm just Logano. I don't know, man. He's just not running well. I don't have anything on him or against him. If anything, I'm going against him. I just don't see. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see him having a great run. Chris Bell was pretty good. Like, I liked his car over the long run. Not a ton of fall off. He's very patient. He learns a ton throughout the race. I really do think that Chris Bell is going to be good today. Again, I don't have anything on or against him at this point. I do think his outright prices have finally leveled off. Can someone look up what kind of the Chris Bell number is right now to win the race? I'm kind of curious. Someone just let me know in the comments there. Eric Almirola. Eric wasn't bad in practice. But I don't know. He's Eric Almirola. He's my kryptonite. You know, as my buddies say, yeah, dude, Bell's 16-1. He just has it. Okay, so here's my concern with Bell. He has not been as fast as Denny or Truex, and both of them are starting ahead of him, and they're both really good at this track. So I agree that the price is there, but we just haven't seen the speed out. I mean, he's won a race, but that was the dirt race. So just throw that away. And by the way, that was kind of given to him. You know, those idiots pitting to take tires, which track position was everything in a dirt race, which crazy. Yeah, 10-1 I do not like, but 16-1 is pretty good. I don't know where that was, Kevin, if you want to let people know. I don't think that's a bad number. Eric Almirola, again, my kryptonite. I don't know. Like, pretty steady. Like, he had some quick fall off, but then the fall off leveled off nicely, if that makes sense. Oh, 61 Bovada. Okay. So yeah, if you're looking to bet Bell, Bovada has him at 16. Austin Dillon. I like Austin Dillon this week. Good on fall off. You know, didn't have a ton of short run speed, but he's good here. This is a place where I like Homestead, and I just like high tire wear for Austin Dillon. I think he's going to be good today. I have him in matchups against Eric Jones. I love it. And you know, maybe a top 10 somewhere. I don't know what he is. Maybe plus 170 or something like that. Plus 140, 170, top 10. I don't mind that either. I just hope he goes out there and beats Eric Jones. Then I'll be happy. Michael McDowell typically runs well here. I don't know. He's Michael McDowell. I don't have anything on or against him. A lot of fall off, you know, but he can kind of horse a race car. I don't know if someone has a feeling one way or the other. Yeah, Ryan. So who's in? Yeah, I know. So Dillon, I gave out Dillon plus 140 versus Jones. That number's not there anymore, but even money's not bad either. I mean, I think he wins. I think Jones struggles all day. But Michael McDowell, I don't know. I'm not high on him. I think he struggles today relative to his performances last year. Kevin Harvick. Kevin's sneaky good. I think long run, Kevin Harvick is going to be good. I like him today. Starting deep, typical Kevin fashion, but he really held on the long run, and then ran his last lap was pretty fast, which I like that. I think my thoughts on fading Briscoe. I love fading Briscoe. It's my favorite thing to do this year. I like Harvick. I will have Harvick outright before this race starts. Well, I might take him live. But I think Kevin Harvick is someone. I think he's 16-1. Can someone find out what kind of the best price on Harvick? I'll see if we can get that going there. Chase Elliott, also a guy that looked good in practice. Like, what the hell? What a terrible qualifying. You know, he was really good in practice. Now, Group A, get it? So, yeah, I kind of NASCAR Fantasy Live. I kind of like Harvick over Joey. I might pull the trigger there. Haven't decided, but I like that. I just trust Harvick in these races where there's just, but also Joey's good in these races too. So I don't know. I like Harvick there, but I have not made that bet. Would I fade who against AJ? No, I don't trust AJ either. I know you're talking about Briscoe. I'm not going to touch that. AJ didn't run very many laps in practice, and I think Briscoe at this place is more talented than AJ. AJ's good at high tire wear places. Like, he was great at Homestead last year, but I just can't imagine him. I just don't see him putting together a great race. But Chase Elliott, I think Chase is going to be good. A little bit of fall off, but really good towards the front half and middle part of a run. So I do think that Chase will be around, like maybe a top 5. I don't know. I'm going to need to see a little bit more out of him, but what a terrible qualifying effort, especially after being fastest in practice. Like, that just goes to show you that the first car out there in Group A, just go out there and lay down a lap, and then you'll win practice. Justin Haley, I mean, lots of fall off, and I don't think colleagues where they were last year. So I guess that'll piggyback with the fact that I don't like AJ very much. So, where are we at? Josh Berry. Josh Berry looked decent. Like, I don't hate Josh Berry today. Just starting deep, and man, this is a tough track, and he didn't run well yesterday. And you look at the equipment he's in, and that should be competitive equipment yesterday, and he just wasn't that good. Haley over Gregson? No, I would not bet that. I would not bet Haley over Gregson. I think if there's a place where Noah can run well, it's here. Yeah, I don't know. Barry was bad. I don't know that he likes this track. I just don't know. I have nothing on or against him. He is matched up against Eric Jones, but it's a dog, like a pretty big dog. But I don't know. I think this is a tough one for Barry. Todd Gilliland, I mean, looked decent. I don't know. I'm not going to have anything on him or against him. Austin Cindric. I usually don't like Austin Cindric at high tire wear tracks, but he didn't look bad at all. I mean, yeah, he didn't look bad, but he's starting deep. And when he starts deep, he's strong. Hey, Rob. Oh, yeah, hair products. Oh, yeah, Atlas Hair Products. Go check it out. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I do like Cindric. I like Cindric today, but man, he's starting deep, and I just don't know how he can. I don't know how he stays. I don't know how he passes cars. I just haven't seen him on a high tire wear track. I haven't seen him pass a lot of cars. So although I think his car is good, I just can't back him. I don't trust him yet. Ryan Newman, obviously, I'm fading him. I think that 51 car is going to be trouble. He's a great qualifier, and he qualified. He's a great qualifier, and he qualified 26. So probably not going to be a lot of speed in that car. Faded him with Harrison Burton. I have Harrison Burton in a matchup. That's just crazy. I didn't think that would be a thing, but here we are. Chris Buescher, a little bit of fall off for this kid. He was in the A group, didn't have a lot of short run speed, decent short run speed, but not great, and a lot of fall off. I anticipate a long day for Chris Buescher. Moving on. Imagine having hair. Gosh, I am having a good hair day today. I love it. Woke up a little hungover. It's my wife's birthday yesterday. Just the shampooing effect. A couple of beers later, here I am, a little buzzed, talking about some NASCAR bets. My life is great. Eric Jones. I don't like. I don't know. Not good. I mean, I was talking with Derek Yoder earlier in the pre-race poll. Tried to compare last year's stats to this year's, just to compare how that team is running. And I know Legacy just in a different situation than it was last year, but his average finish on the races that I looked at, which are like 7 normal races, I threw out the road courses, I threw out the super speedways, I threw out the dirt. Eric Jones last year had one at this point in the season, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 3 top 15s, and 3 top 20s. At this point, This year, same tracks, just 3 top 20s. No top 15s for Eric Jones. And he could have Legacy's terrible right now. So oh, Worldwide Wob. I don't know why I sent the link over to you, bud. Yeah, I'm not high on Eric Jones. I think he's going to struggle. Now, I do think he has talent. Like, Eric Jones is a great talent. He just got a raw deal at Gibbs. I do hope that he gets another deal at some point because he can win. I mean, he took he won last year here, like the Southern 500. That is not easy to do. So, and then the playoffs of all things. So, I'm not high on him now. Noah Gragson. Here's the deal with Noah. Didn't look that great in practice and makes a ton of mistakes. But if there's a place where Noah's good, it's here. That being said, you can't trust him. Like, if someone said that they wanted to bet on him and be like, if their explanation is he just runs really well here, his driving style fits the track, I go, yep, I agree. However, I can't trust him. I do like what he did last week. I mean, the best thing he did was get punched. AJ Allmendinger, I just don't have a feel. Like, he didn't practice very much. Colleagues not the same as they were last year. I'll say that. The 14 and 41. I mean, what is going on? I'm going to start with the 14. Bad in practice. Slow. Lots of fall off. That team is, I'm just shocked at that. Like, how poorly that team is performing. Now, I will say, if you saw Denny Hamlin's tweet yesterday about how this track puts the car in the driver's hands, maybe he was just talking about Xfinity, but I also think that, hey, cheers, Troy. I also think that, like, Chase Briscoe's a good driver, and I actually think he's a great driver, but man, there has to be something wrong. They just don't have these cars set up well for him, or something's going on, because it just doesn't make any sense. I'll say Ryan Preece looked a hell of a lot better than Chase Briscoe. Like, Ryan Preece in the middle of a run was pretty decent. I didn't think he was bad at all. I don't know if I trust them, but they're starting 31st and 32nd, man. I like Ryan Preece over Briscoe. I know that's a matchup. If you're feeling squirrely and you want to have just an SHR matchup, I think Ryan Preece shit kicks Chase Briscoe. Ty Dillon, trash. Corey LaJoy. I mean, he's gonna run better than where he qualified, but still not spectacular for this guy this week. Not terrible, actually. I don't know. Does he have any matchups? I didn't see any on screen. I feel like if anyone would know, it'd be Big Ross. He's been pretty on it today. So I don't think there's any LaJoy matchups. So not really any reason to get into that. That's it. And then BJ McLeod and Brennan Poole, which I'm not going to talk about either one of those guys. So Rory in the chat. All right. So you guys have any questions about anything? Yeah, no matchups. I didn't think so. SHR drunker than you. Hunter, you're at the race, right? You said it's hot and slick today. Hey, Brandon, I do think Blaney's going to be good. And Larson outright Chalk City. He should be. This is a good car. I think he's going to be real fast. Let's see. Just got here, so not sure what's been discussed. Took Bell versus KFB and Gibbs over Suarez. Yeah, I agree. You don't like RCR? I kind of like Austin Dillon. I guess we can agree to disagree there. I think Kyle's going to be average. I do think Bell will be a little bit better. Yes, Hunter. There it is. The Truex comment. Okay, so here's the Hamlin Larson. If your argument is, or your explanation on Hamlin Larson is, listen, this should be more of a coin toss. Just look using my eyeballs. I think you can take Denny, but if you're talking about race cars and how they practice, it ain't the same. Kyle's way faster than Denny, way faster. So that's up to you. I just think listen. So because I do this for a living, the one thing I hate to do is just lose a bet. Like, I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of a number and just make sure I win. I just hate losing even one bet. Like, losing one bet is just terrible. So I just try to take bets that don't lose. I know that sounds ridiculous, like, oh, no shit. But like, I don't even want to take anything that I think has even the slightest chance of losing. Like, I mean, I can't take that. I feel like you're gambling a little with Hamlin and Larson, and you could very well be right. You could be right when you take Hamlin over Larson. I don't want any of that action against Larson today. Yeah, if anyone's taking Kyle Busch to win, check team bets because RCR is priced. Yeah, I mean, that's because I don't think Dylan's really adding much there. I just don't think Dylan's going to start in 18th. I mean, it's not like he's driving through the field. Let's be honest. I just need him to beat Eric Jones. If he can do that, I'm happy. Any other questions about bets? My race pick is Larson. I mean, I have to. I can't just ignore. I can't ignore his lack of fall off. And it might be the thing is, though, if we don't get a green flag, if we get short runs, I think he could struggle. Like he did a little bit yesterday, but on the like the first couple of restarts, I mean, he dropped to like 7th. Now he drove back through the field pretty quickly. Oh yeah, who makes a Sheldon Creed? Yeah, what is Sheldon Creed thinking? That was so stupid. I hope nobody does that. I don't think anyone in the Cup Series will do that. If it is, if someone does that, I mean, Chastain, I don't think he'll do that. I think Chastain thinks he has like a top 2 or 3 car. I think he's going to try to race pretty clean for the first. I say that, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I don't know who's going to make that move, but any more questions about anything? Tempted to fade Blaney with Elliott. I think Blaney right now is let's see. Derek just sent me a message. Would you advise someone? I'll get to Blaney here in a second. I want to read this. Would you advise someone to bet Bell top 5 or Bell top Toyota? I like. Okay, so the question is from Derek Yoder is Bell top 5 plus 230 or Bell top Toyota plus 550? Well, I think even if he finishes in the top 5, he gets beat by another Toyota. I think that's pretty. I like the top 5 more than I like top Toyota, just because, I mean, this first pit stall is so important. Like, there might not be a track where the first pit stall is more important. I think Truex is going to be up there all day long. So I can't. Truex will be up there all day long. So I would say I like him top 5 more. I don't like Chris Bell a ton today, just because the pit stall selection is just the pit stall. This is a narrow pit road, and the first pit stall here is just incredible. Yeah, I don't mind Blaney at 16-1, and then top 10 minus 115. I think he's a top 10 car. The thing is, like, I think he's a top 10 car, but I don't know that he's a top 5 car. So I hate taking guys in the top 10 that I think are going to run not in the top 5, because that just gives you a smaller window. Yeah, Toyotas are good today, Brandon. Blaney top 10 minus 1. I don't like Blaney minus 140. Like, if you got Troy's number at minus 115, so much can happen late on Blaney. Minus 140 might be. I would rather you take him like top 5. His top 5 price will be a little better, just because if he's going to be good, he can be up there in the top 5 and you're going to get paid for it. Watch Chase and Harvick live. Yeah. So live, I mean, I guess, okay, with live, without giving away everything, live depends. Who does the live market depends on who? I want to see in the comments. Who does the live market depend on? There's a driver that the live market will depend on. Correct. Kyle Larson. If Kyle Larson gets to 3rd in the first 15 laps, you don't need to bet anybody until Larson gets to the lead. If he looks fast, his odds, like, the book's already taken a ton of action on him. Like I saw that, like, yeah, the leader, which it depends. If the leader is Austin Cindric, they're not going to drop. But if the leader is Kyle Larson, or it looks like it's going to be Larson, like wait till Larson gets out front and then all right, see you, Kim. Thanks for coming. Once Larson gets to the lead, then you can have anybody at almost every price. So I think it's really important to understand that. Now, if Larson fades early, great. That's fine. You have to look at other guys that are going to be good and who's making their way up through the field. But also, Truex starting on the pole, getting out there and leading laps. I think that he's also, his odds are going to drop pretty quickly too. So, and in Larson, in the one advantage that Truex has is he's going to be that first pit stall. So he's going to be running, like, I don't see him running outside the top 5. And when that first pit stall, I think he's going to continually be in the top 5. So I think you kind of have to have Truex in your portfolio at least a little bit, because he's just going to be there all day. Even if he gives on, even if he like speeds on pit road or goes, like, he's going to pick up spots every time on pit road. I'm not worried about someone going to the rear, because I do think you can drive through the field after 15 or 20 laps. So, Larson, is Larson plus 350? Oh, you're talking about yesterday. Yeah, Xfinity is way different. Like there's yeah, you can't even, there was like 5 guys that could win the race yesterday. There's 15 that could win the race today. Larson's pit stall. I'm pretty sure he has an open exit. You have to look and see what Bob tweeted, but I think he has an open exit. I think. So, all right, everybody. I'm on Larson pretty big today. Fading Eric Jones. So, no, I don't. Dominic, no, I do not like Eric Jones. Finished top 10, 7 in the last 10. I know. A lot of those were with Joe Gibbs Racing. It's different. Yeah, okay, so Larson has open exit. Perfect. Big Ross, you're my stats guy this week. I love it. All right, everybody. Let's do a little pull, collective clink. Hey, good luck, everybody. And taking a pull. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there.